And she stopped me and she said, I'm not going to have this baby. I'm going to have an abortion. I was away in college and my girlfriend came to my room and she said, hey, I'm pregnant, and I was raised in a very close family. I went to Catholic school. I had this sense of family, this sense of values. And so in my mind, what that meant was I'm going to have a baby. And she stopped me and she said, I'm not going to have this baby. I'm going to have an abortion. And while I knew what abortion was at that time, I didn't know that that was something people actually did. This is 1997, so it wasn't social media. It wasn't as broad, of a topic. And so I didn't know anybody that had ever had an abortion. I didn't know that was something anybody did. And all I could really get myself to say was, no, you're not going to have an abortion. And that obviously didn't work, because at the end of the day, it wasn't something that I had any control over at all, other than to voice my opinion. There was a point during that the mom, the young lady, came to me and said, hey, because she was struggling really bad after this too, after the abortion. Her grades were suffering just like mine. And she said, hey, I went and met with this counselor at school and explained the situation. And they let me waive some of my classes so that my grades wouldn't be affected and I could move on. So I went and I met with the counselor and I said, hey, this is the name of the young lady. This is the situation you guys talked about. This is the resolution you had. I'm the other part of that. And I'm struggling too. And that counselor just looked at me and she said, no, this doesn't affect you. And so that's kind of what I was left with, right? I was left with the mother of my child telling me that nothing that I did and nothing that I said and nothing that I felt mattered, then compounded by a school counselor, like just reinforcing the idea that this doesn't affect me. And so that's kind of what I was left with. And so I failed out of college.